last year, Chippendale, around this time actually, Chippendale Rescue Rangers had the live action film come out. Basically, a unique kind of take on Rescue Rangers, more of a Who Framed Roger Rabbit like take. Now, around the same time, Disney made the announcement that they were going to finally do the one thing that we as fans have been wanting them to do since basically Volume 2 of the DVD release of the complete animated series was released and was the only release after that DVD home video wise of the series because the rest of the series had not been released. There was no Volume 3, 4, like let's say DuckTales and Tailspin ended up getting later on, as well as shows like Gargoyles, and I think Darkwing Duck got one as well. Um, later after the initial releases, Rescue Rangers never really had one. But then, as soon as we get word that the movie is going to be happening, Disney decides to help promote it. Basically, they decide to help promote it by accomplishing the one thing that they didn't do originally that we fans have been wanting them to do. That's the word I'm trying to say. I do these videos without a script or anything, without bullet points, so you ought to be used to in these past 15 years how I conduct these videos or I do these videos. Basically, what you see is what you get. But like I said, Disney decides to promote the Rescue Ranger movie by finally accomplishing the one thing that we as fans have been wanting them to accomplish, for years. And that's, release the rest of the series, onto home video. But what they did instead of giving us, like, let's say, Volume 3 and 4 of Rescue Rangers on DVD, instead they decided to give us the complete series released as a whole on Blu-ray. That's right. They decided to give us this on they decided to give us the complete series, is what I'm trying to say, on Blu-ray instead of just like the next couple of volumes on DVD. Now, this is in, basically, believe it or not, this is in standard definition. This is basically standard definition, standard dynamic range, SDR, but it's in 1080p. It's 1080p SDR, if you will, or 1080p HD, depending on how you want to look at it. It's basically still seen when you pop the Blu-rays in. It's still seen in that 4:3, ratio. It's still seen that 4:3 ratio, if you will. It's still seen that way. But you can definitely tell, the transition of taking the episodes and putting them from the DVD set to Blu-ray, along with the other ones that had yet to see DVD release. And this was the first time from a digital video format that they ever got it. And basically they took all of those and placed them onto a Blu-ray, thus cleaning them up a little bit to make them look a little bit more newer and presentable. And when you put them into your 4K Blu-ray player on your 4K television, like I do, and let's say you have the option on your television or even your 4K player to, make the picture quality, go from being standard to natural to movie to the ever popular HDR, high dynamic range, especially when you go to that format, HDR, the picture looks more crisper and cleaner than it ever has. But the ultimate question, obviously, that I'm trying to get at, because I know I sound like I'm rambling, is why did it take so long? Why didn't they just do this, in the first place? Why didn't they just decide, hey, we're doing all these other shows, giving them final volumes and everything, completing the sets. Why don't we just do the same with Rescue Rangers? Why did they wait? Why did they wait until the movie came out to say, hey, I got a good idea of how we could promote this. Let's put the series on Blu-ray complete, all 65 episodes. Let's put the entire series on Blu-ray. And on top of that, let's at first make the release, a Disney Club exclusive, and then a little after the movie comes out, or around the time the movie comes out, we'll make it a retail release as well. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. But again, the question is, why did it take so long? Because for a lot of us, all we really had from a home video perspective, when it came to watching the episodes whenever we wanted, and this was before Disney Plus, all we actually had were the DVDs, the VHSs, if we still own them, the VHSs, basically that that Disney released as part of our collection, even part of compilation sets, if you will. Or in some cases, we had our VHS recordings of the entire series on separate tapes, mostly maybe 4 to 6 hour, recordings, if you will. Or in some cases, like with me, we had this. This here is all all of the DVD recordings that I did with my Apex and ILO DVD recorder when Toon Disney was airing the Rescue Rangers. So I have not most, I have all of the episodes on here, including the one that basically kind of got a little bit of abandonmentship, if you will, and that's the one where Monterey Jack's mom comes for a visit again, and basically Fat Cat's having moles, fellow mole men, basically cause earthquakes, where buildings are tumbling and tilting and everything. And I mean, I think because of the sensitivity of that, because of what happened around the 2001 time frame, of course, as we all know, caused that episode to kind of be put to the side temporarily. But now you can watch it on Disney Plus, because fortunately Rescue Rangers is not going to be one of the shows that gets canned, because Disney's deciding to merge Disney Plus and Hulu into one, in some cases. But with that said, like I mentioned, this, along with our original VHS recordings on 4 to 6 hour tapes, our purchasing of the original VHS releases and even the later VHS releases that were more, a compilation along with other Disney afternoon shows based on a particular holiday and everything, or centered around that, and everything. Those are our only means outside of Disney Plus, which came out, years ago, several years ago. That was our only means, ladies and gentlemen. That was our only means of basically watching the series, whenever we wanted to. Instead of having a legit official complete collection on DVD. So again, the question is, what took it so long? Why were they so hesitant, outside of the other Disney afternoon shows, to do it? And I think, in my opinion, the reason they were hesitant to, really complete the Rescue Rangers series is because they knew how popular Rescue Rangers still was with the fans. And that basically, if they released the rest of Rescue Rangers onto DVD, volumes 3 and 4, which I think they would have been, in my opinion, that they knew fans would be preferably buying those and wanting more of those to be released in various quantities, if you will, in retail and online. They knew basically that Rescue Rangers would outshine the other Disney afternoon related releases, or even some of the current Disney Channel original animated series releases on DVD and later on Blu-ray. So they didn't want that, in my opinion. I think basically that was one of the reasons they didn't want to do it, because they knew it would outshine the rest of the Disney afternoon series that they were putting onto DVD, around that time frame. Now that may not be the case, though. It may be the fact that, just like with some of the shows that they waited years to finally complete, on DVD as a whole, like Tailspin and DuckTales and Gargoyles and all that, I think it was also finances. I think financially they couldn't afford to distribute any more copies and all that. So basically realizing that, hey, the only way we could, save some money is by basically, just skipping out on the rest of the series and, seeing if there's going to be a demand. And obviously there was a demand. I mean, obviously they knew there was a demand and all that fans wanted more of it. They just didn't get it. Fans did not get it, when they felt like they should get it, or they felt the time was, right for it to happen. And then, of course, you have fans noticing that Tailspin's getting completed, DuckTales is getting completed, Gargoyles is getting completed. It's like, well, what about Rescue Rangers? You have, half of the series out already. Why not complete the rest? Because basically, volumes 1 and 2, the DVD of the original DVD releases, basically were essentially, disc 3 to 4 is what they were. They're essentially disc 3 and 4 of the Blu-ray. So why not release, disc 5 and 6 in DVD format, which would be volumes 3 and 4? Why not do that? And, especially when you see that fans, are getting antsy and a little upset that, hey, Tailspin's getting completed, you know, DuckTales is getting completed, Gargoyles is getting completed. What about Rescue Rangers? It's in the same boat. Why not complete it? And obviously they didn't pay attention to that because, they probably felt there wasn't that much of a demand, obviously for Rescue Rangers, more so than there was a demand for a completion of Tailspin and DuckTales and Gargoyles. But but to me, it could be any reasoning. It could be because of finances, and maybe there wasn't that much of a demand. I don't really know. I don't really know. But to me, it shouldn't have taken so long. Nor should it have taken the fact that they were going to be doing a Rescue Ranger movie, live action or not. It shouldn't have and no matter what kind of live action movie or not it was going to be, it shouldn't have taken this long for them to finish, completing the series. Now, yes, am I happy they completed the series? Yes. Am I even happier they decided that instead of just, giving us, volumes 3 and 4, they decided just to re-release, volumes 1 and 2 and the rest of the episodes of the series onto Blu-ray so we can have it in a more clearer picture format? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, I'm happy about that. But again, it's more along the lines of what took it so long. Why couldn't they accomplish this beforehand? Even if it was, volumes 3 and 4 that they were going to be completed. I just checked it there on my computer. Why didn't they just decide to complete it then and there? When they had the opportunity, especially around the same time they were finishing up, completing Tailspin, DuckTales, and Gargoyles and others. And again, it could be a variety of reasons. It could be financial reasons. It could be the fact that there was not a demand for that from their perspective. Or maybe, as I mentioned earlier, they probably felt that if they would have finished it, it would have outshined, basically, it would have outshined the other releases on Blu-ray and DVD of the other Disney afternoon shows and Disney original animated shows that they were releasing, in a big way. And they didn't want that. They wanted to have, I guess you could say, equal treatment for all the shows. And probably somebody felt that Rescue Rangers was going to take that equal treatment and basically put most of it in their favor. But only Disney knows. Only Disney, the people in the home video division, know as to why they waited so long to do this. I mean, were they waiting for the movie to come out to do it? Who knows? But to me, they could have accomplished it a lot sooner, than what we got. Again, am I glad they did finally do it? Yes. Am I glad it's presented in a way that when you put it, let's say, on your 4K television and 4K player, that not only do you see it in 4K, even at standard definition range, but also you could watch it in high dynamic range if you felt like it with the picture option on your TV or your 4K Blu-ray player? Yeah, I'm happy about that. I really am. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. I know I may have sounded like I'm rambling here and stuff, but let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel about this? Do you think they could have, released this a lot sooner, even if it's volumes 3 and 4? What do you think was the real reason it took them so long to do so? And how did you feel about it when you found that it was coming to Blu-ray, for the first time ever, where basically it was a re-release of volumes 1 and 2 with the rest of the episodes with a clearer picture and all that, and the opportunity to watch it in 4K if you had a 4K option? Let me know down below in the comments, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Again, I know I sound like I rambled. I do apologize. But again, let me know what your thoughts are. And until next time, guys, I am